Good evening, friends and family, and thank you for coming to another night with Repair, Restore, and Grow Black Communities, podcast behind Black business. And as you know, every Wednesday night, we feature a wonderful guest. And we have another wonderful guest for you tonight who has a wonderful establishment here in the Chicago area. And this is LaShae of Juneteenth Apparels. And LaShae, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy day to be with us tonight. So, as you know,
Thank you for
we
having
started
me.
this. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And as you know, we are a nonprofit organization, and we're a few people who came together to try to do something to help enhance the circulation of dollars in our community by uplifting our Black businesses, because our Black businesses have the um, power and the opportunity to enhance those dollars by hiring Black people, doing services with other Black businesses, um, giving entrepreneurial opportunities, serving as role models to our children, and being interested and supporting different causes in our community. And as you know, we have so many other people with businesses in our community that are not giving back. And these lack of resources have hurt the communities here in Chicago on the south side and the west side, especially. And so it's something that we have to do and take a handle of this. And so that's what we're doing with our organization. That's why we bring you a business every week to let you know we have all these Black businesses out here, and we have to support them. And we're great proponents of bookstores. We do a book giveaway because it's important that we read and we gain knowledge about our history, about current perspectives, about what is going on. There's a lot going on that's affecting our communities right now, affecting everyone. And that's why we need to read, and we need to support our Black bookstores. We do have a resurgence of Black bookstores, and if you go to rrgbc.org, we've listed all of our Black bookstores on our website. We do a book giveaway. Many of our Black bookstores have been on our podcast, and this month, Turtel Only, who is a graphic design artist, and he creates comic books. This picture does not do justice to what this book actually looks like. It also comes with trading cards, and one of our subscribers will win this book at the end of the month. We give a book away every month, and all you have to do is go to rrgbc.org and subscribe. We also ask you to go to Save Black Bookstores in Chicago at change.org and sign our petition, because we want um, our Black bookstores to get contracts from our public libraries and our public schools. And so that we get these books. Our children need to see their images in our bookstores. We had one of our bookstore owners, Afriware, Sister Nzinga, had a great conversation about the impact of these books on the minds of our children and what they see. So please support our Black bookstores. And then finally, Southside Community Federal Credit Union, who has been in our community on the South Side at 55th and Wentworth for over 20 years, providing loans and financial literacy, consultation, and support to people in the community. They developed because Black people were having difficulties getting loans and financial supports for their businesses from many of the local banks that we are depositing all of our dollars in. So again, we're doing business with people who are not doing business back with us, who are not giving back. And that just doesn't make any sense. So that's what we're here to talk to you about. So tonight we have LaShae, And LaShae is the proprietor of Juneteenth Apparel.
Yes.
And I was at the Black Women's Expo, and I saw this beautiful expose of black, green, and red. And I'm like, what is that over there? And as I approached it, I saw Juneteenth Apparel and just beautiful clothing wear, and accessories, very well made. And I was very impressed. And so I
Thank
had to
you.
get a card and finally get a chance to talk to you. So again, I want to thank you for coming tonight, LaShae.
I appreciate you having me. I really, really do.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's see, where can we start here? Um, First of all, let's talk about Juneteenth Apparel. How did you come up with this name, Juneteenth Apparel?
Okay, so it actually started on Juneteenth, the holiday. So there was a lady by the name of Miss Gladys that was retiring from my job. And so I went to her on June 19th and I say, now, Miss Gladys, now you don't supposed to be working for nobody's job past today. And she's like, oh, I messed that up. I'm like, you know what? Don't worry about it. We'll leave a pair of broken shackles on your desk. Don't worry. And um, so I went back to my desk and I said, well, she'll be here for a couple of more weeks. I want to get her a shirt with some chain breaking that says she's retired.
Mm-hmm.
And she loves, like, the rhinestones, the sparkle and all that stuff off of
Mm-hmm.
her shirts and stuff. So, because she always would, when I wear something, she like, I want one of those. So I already kind of knew her setup of how she likes stuff to look. So I looked for a shirt that had the chain breaking that said I am retired. And when I did my search for it, it didn't exist. And so I'm like, no, let me look again. And
Mm-hmm.
when I did my follow-up search for it, it didn't exist. And so on Juneteenth, that's when Juneteenth Apparel came about. And it was because this lady was retiring, but I also felt like people have broken free from so many other things outside of
Mm-hmm.
a job. And so I just wanted people to um, begin to be proud of what they have broken free from. So that's how it
Mm-hmm.
truly came about.
Wow. People come up with a lot of ideas, but what um gave you that spark, that push to actually go and create this into a business?
You know, I say God just placed it in my lap because
Mhm.
I didn't want a clothing line. um,
Had
and
you
it
had you thought about a clothing line?
not at all,
It never crossed your mind.
never at all, at all.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
and so it was crazy because, like, it was like a short period of time. Like, I came to this new office that previous October, and by February I was out on medical leave.
Mhm.
And so I was gone. So the relationships that I gained with those people were very short lived from October to February when I was out. And then I was out much longer than I was anticipating. And so,
Mhm.
so in that, me and Miss Gladys really gained a bond in a short period of time.
Mhm.
And it was just ironic that we had that connection, and she was retiring in June. And it was just all these symbols that was just hitting me like, this is for you. This is for you.
Mhm.
It's not for anybody else. This is for you. And you need to do something with it. So um, I listened. That's
Mhm.
exactly what I did. I listened to God.
Okay. And so now, okay, you said you were going to do this, and a lot of times people say they want to do something, and
Hmm.
then you have to create a plan for how you're going to do this. So, how did you know how to go about, you know,
Okay. So
actually making all this happen?
so first thing first, I knew that I wanted to have something that was that I made legally mine. So Juneteenth Apparel is a registered trademark company. I did go through the process of doing my own trademark. I didn't get a lawyer or anybody. I just worked with the trademark division and got my certification.
Mm-hmm.
Every document, I mean, in writing, you know, copyright your stuff. So I knew that me, I carried that same thought with my designs. So I had everything copywritten. So I did everything legally first.
Mm-hmm.
From there, um, my my wonderful cousin was displaying his own work, and I didn't know. My sister actually is the person that said, "Hey, you need to check him out," and he might be able to help, because I actually had reached out to someone else, and then my sister came in about my cousin. And he, at the time, he was doing it from, well, it was being shared through his mother, and because he had no social media page. And
Mm-hmm.
so when I saw the video, I was like, oh, he does do really nice work. And so I reached out to him.
Mm-hmm.
And we met and we did it as a deal. This is a business. You have your business, which is creative. What is it? Ambitious and creative printing service. And that has an idea about their clothing line. He is definitely the person that you can reach out to, and he is on Facebook. Um, and so we talked, we drafted up some stuff, and we began to create the garments. And his expertise in my designs just kind of made it perfect.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so now you mentioned Miss Gladys
Mm-hmm.
and the idea about creating something, you know, for her that she could wear that would represent her going through this phase in her life of retiring. And
Mm-hmm.
you created a whole line of clothing around this. And so when I went to your website, I was wowed even more because I'm like, she's got clothing for women, she has clothing for men, she's got clothing for children,
Yes.
um, and the retired. All right.
Yes.
So
Yes.
tell us something. Let's tell us a little bit about each one of those areas. So you do have a women's clothing line.
Yes, for women, I have, of course, the shirts. I have sweatshirts, which is this one behind, on the other side. This one behind me, that's a women's sweatshirt.
Mm-hmm.
I also have leggings, dresses, totes, hats, rhinestone hats for the women now. Um,
And now a lot of people into
Pretty much
rhinestones.
that, yes, yeah, the sparkle, yes, is the rhinestone shirt, long sleeve, short
Mhm.
sleeve, either way. The hat to top it off, yes. um, and
Okay.
I just wanted, and I have it from, um, someone can order a extra small, because that's not so common, and all the way up to a 5XL, because I wanted every woman to be able to sit up there and find something that they could feel beautiful in.
Mm-hmm.
So it was for, and everyone um, has been through something, and they have worked through. They were in a dark place, or they were just didn't see the light that at the end of that tunnel, and they kept trucking through the darkness, and they found light. And no one, where they sit up there, and we go into Juneteenth, and people say, well, that's free-ish. No one can tell you that the battle that you have fought and came out of is free-ish. That is your freedom from whatever that
Mm-hmm.
is. And so I want every person, no matter the age, the size, the sexuality. I want everyone to sit up there and be proud of whatever personal freedoms that they have broken free from.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so you have the men's line, and so what do you have in the men's line?
I have joggers. I don't have any. I have joggers. I don't have any shorts yet, but they're gonna come. I definitely have the caps. I have long sleeve, short sleeve shirts for the guys. And then
Okay.
our children, I have sweatshirts, which is, oh, let's see if I can gather this one. So this is our
Oh.
gifts. So
Okay. So what's that say? What's that say on the back?
JTH Apparel for Juneteenth Apparel.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
it's on the, it's
Nice.
as a little bit, as a little,
Okay.
yeah. So
So like what sizes do you carry for the
from
children? What range is that?
2T to is to the teens. So 16, 16, 18.
Mm-hmm.
I think 16 for sure. Not
Okay.
100% on the 18. But yeah. So
Okay.
once again, that of course the older ones can understand a little bit more, but I feel like this, if they can match their parents, you ever see a kid that the father is sitting up there watching TV or whatever, he makes
Uh-huh.
a gesture,
Uh-huh.
he crosses
Uh-huh.
legs, you want to, and the son wants to cross his legs like his dad. I
Absolutely.
I definitely have those shirts so that kid can be proud to match their father, or a young princess can match her queen. So
Absolutely. And we need that, so much with our family coming together, and just that modeling your
mhm,
parent type of situation. We need that so much. So
yes,
that's a good concept. It's a
thank
great
you.
concept. So then you have the retired line,
Yes,
which
which
I saw.
I have hats, shirts,
Uh-huh.
being long sleeve, short sleeve. I have sweatshirts. I have
Mm-hmm.
pants that goes along with those shirts, so they can sit up there and be fully suited to let
Mm-hmm.
everybody know, let the world know that they have paid their debt and they are finally free from anybody's job.
Okay. And then I saw a purple and a pink.
Yes, so
That's
for breast cancer awareness, 10% of the proceeds go to the American Cancer Society. That's
mhm.
during the anytime that sale is made, 10% goes towards it, but it's definitely out there for the a little bit before October and everything. And the other one is for domestic violence,
Mm,
and that's it's for women and children that has they're trying to help with aiding them for to get placement and find them safe havens during their moment of trying to get back stabilized. So
sure.
the name, I just know CCAC, but it's on the tip of my tongue, and if I get it, I'll give it to you. But
Okay.
yeah, the 10% goes towards that charity as well.
Okay. Okay. And then you have your accessories, your accessory line.
Yes, I have, um, of course, the hats and the totes, and I think
Mhm.
that's it as far as my accessories is concerned as of right now.
Okay. Well, I saw a lot of like people that like to travel. I saw a
Yeah.
lot of nice pieces, that you can
Yes,
use, for traveling. Because even with the long distance traveling and you're on an airplane, it's cold. Your feet get cold. You have to have on something warm. They give you blankets on the
yes,
airplane, but nice, and the totes and the hats, are
yes,
nice pieces for travel.
yeah. I know another lady that I work with. That's what she says. She puts on her sweatshirts every time she is heading towards the airport. That is her. That's what she wears every time she's traveling. So, which is cool. So that means that people all over everywhere is taking a look at the clothing line, which is so cool.
Sure, sure, absolutely. Now, do you do any special pieces? If somebody wants something specially designed, do you do
Custom,
anything like that?
no, we're more,
Custom?
um, they can reach out to, um, like I said, Amateurs and Creative Printing Services, and he will definitely add those pieces to
Mm-hmm.
um, a product or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, we're just like, Nike or anybody other. It's just our brand, for
Mm-hmm.
the most part. So,
Okay. Okay. And how long has Juneteenth been in existence?
so I started it in 2019, um, September of like, well, really, like I say, the thought process started on Juneteenth, but I think we did our photo shoot in September, and October was when the
Mm-hmm.
website opened up to people to purchase. So
Okay.
yeah, we've been since pretty much as far as doors open since October of 2019.
Okay. So the other thing I was excited about when I found about the business, you were located on the west side. Um,
Yes.
and I'm from originally from the west side. I grew
Me
up on the
too.
west side.
Time
Yes,
all
I
day.
did. I grew up on the west side. And, in the time when we had a lot of black businesses, I saw a lot of changes, happen on the
Yes.
west side. And so I was happy to see, a business over there like that. And so you were on Hamlin. Is it
Yes.
Hamlin Street?
Yes.
Okay.
So it is currently, the doors are being closed at the moment. We did it. We closed the
Mhm.
doors January 1st for the purposes of renovation.
Okay.
Juneteenth Apparel right now. Well, prior it was inside of Courtesy Style Shop, and they're going to be totally separate entities. So
Hmm.
Juneteenth Apparel is going to have its whole all four doors, made four walls, and well, Courtesy Style Shop will have all four walls too. And
Okay.
so we are in the process currently on renovating. So right now, we're not there. You always can visit the website, which is www.juneteenthapparel.com. But
Hmm.
when we come on back, we will be back at 1059 North Hamlin. It just a look a lot different and more
Okay.
exciting. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I would definitely be looking forward to that opening.
Thank you. And I will
Absolutely.
definitely keep
Absolutely.
you posted.
So, as you were talking, like I said, this podcast is really, to talk about Black businesses and to uplift and support Black businesses, to create the awareness of Black businesses. And you mentioned what sparked your idea
Mhm.
for this particular business, and you went forth and did all the things that you needed to do
Mhm.
to start a business. Now you have an accounting background. Am I correct? Did you tell me
Yes,
that?
yes. I
Okay. So that
have
probably helped you also in terms of organizing, because that's really an important component.
definitely. Figuring out where I need to price things in order to see any type of a profit. That business aspect of accounting definitely comes in handy. And of course, when I'm doing my taxes, it definitely comes in handy knowing what I can take as a credit and everything. So um,
Mhm.
I always was into numbers. I knew I wanted to be an accountant when I was in sixth grade, and
Wow.
and
Okay. Did you know somebody that was an accountant?
no, it ironically when I was in kindergarten, um, we had to get up and say what we were. They gave us what we was going to say. It wasn't something that we picked out on our own. But ironically, when I was in kindergarten, heading to first grade, I had the speech of, "I'm going to be an accountant, and I'm going to be the best accountant that I can be."
Okay.
And
So
I
the
just,
teacher, so the teacher just gave you the speech.
yes, yes.
Mhm.
But I love puzzles. I love figuring out problems, and problem solving with numbers. And I love figuring out in a report what's going wrong. Um, it's always have been an interest of mine. So it just made sense for me when I'm like, oh, I can help people with their finances. I can deal with numbers. I'm gonna be an accountant. And so that's what I strive to do. And I did.
That's a very important component of a business, the accounting, keeping up with all of the income and the expenditures,
Yes.
and making sure you're balancing things out right. And so that's why a lot of people will hire an accountant, to set up a system for
Yes.
them. And
Yeah.
you already know how to do that.
Yeah. Save some money
Uh-huh.
somewhere.
So do you work as an accountant, or you just
Yes.
so you do work as
Yes. I
an accountant?
graduated from DePaul University with my accounting degree, um, and I work in Chicago
You
as
work
an
for the
accountant.
city of Chicago? Oh,
Yes.
okay. So in what capacity?
Payroll.
In payroll. Ah, okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
people really want to make sure I know what I'm doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So having that background has helped you tremendously in your business, because that's a really, like I said, that's a really important component. And
Yeah.
so you, I also, when I talked to you earlier, when we look at where a lot of our inspirations come from, you mentioned your father and the expectations, you know,
Yes. My
that your
father.
dad had for you.
Yeah. My father never settled for basic. He always wanted more for himself. He wanted more for his children. And so and he was probably the first person that made me count without doing this 1, 2, 3 and doing
Without
sticks
the fingers.
without the fingers. And
Hmm.
because literally I remember doing that, and he came and he said, no, you do it with your mind. You do not do it with, you don't draw no sticks. You don't sit up there and use your fingers. You use your mind.
Hmm.
And so that's what I did, you know.
Hmm.
Um, but he always told us, you own, you don't rent. And so that all of this carried along with me, as I was growing up and figuring out what I want to do with myself,
Hmm.
and how I want to be placed in this world. So um, I wanted to be able to have something to be
Hmm.
able to hand down to my family,
Hmm.
um, down the line. I definitely I want to do like every other nationality is able to do, and
Hmm.
hand down something to their. I don't have any children of my own, but I do have a nephew, son, and I have 2 nieces. So to my
Okay.
kids, you know.
Okay.
So yeah, that he taught us that, and I'm going to continue to try to strive to be better.
Hmm. Okay. And then you went through another very good school over on the west side. It's a private school, Providence St. Mel.
Yes.
I'm sure you say, were you there for kindergarten?
No. Mm-mm.
No.
I started in my freshman year, um,
Okay.
and I graduated from St. Mel. Yeah, yeah, and
Okay.
they definitely, work ethics is definitely taught at St. Mel.
Okay.
Um, if anybody would ever tell you when they saw me coming home, um, they say, LaShae, I seen you coming out with that book bag on your shoulder, and then next thing I see you coming back past with the book bag on your shoulder going in the house. And that's all I see of you. So you definitely learn how to handle a lot in a little amount of time. That's
Okay.
what St. Mill teaches you to
Mm-hmm.
manage your time and to work through it
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So it definitely worked in my benefits throughout this life. Yeah.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And when I conceptualize your product line, it's called Juneteenth,
Hmm.
and we think of it as a holiday.
Hmm.
But for me, um, it's a 365 day, you know,
Absolutely.
part of
Absolutely.
journey of a part of our life. Because with Juneteenth, even though there was this Union General Gordon Granger, who in 1865, um, on June the 19th,
Hmm.
wrote this order
Hmm.
to free the slaves. We thought, the Declaration of Independence did it. We thought Civil War did it. We thought Abraham Lincoln did it, but no, you know. And then even after our people were free, they continued, to have to go through, Jim
Absolutely.
Crow
Yeah.
and the Reconstruction period, and the Civil Rights movement, and we still continue to have our struggles today.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. We are we are battling every day, and
Mm-hmm.
and you talked about this before, where if if we are battling everybody else, why are we battling each other?
Right.
You know, um, if we have been, unfortunately, we have kind of has ingrained in us to, instead of supporting, we are looking and hoping that the other person don't do better. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
and other nationalities make sure everybody's okay, and it's
Mm-hmm.
okay for, because if they move up, then they they'll move up someone else. They already know. I don't care how high you go, because I know you're gonna extend, pull back down, reach back down, and pull somebody else up. And I just wish that um, we would now do better on supporting each other and being proud of our people's accomplishments, and not look at it as, oh, they're better, or think they're better. It's I know, I am so happy for everybody's accomplishment. I am sharing everybody's accolades on my page. It's not just um, me and my businesses or anything like that. It's truly um, being proud and saying, "Hey, somebody got this going on. Somebody has a, come go over there and like their page. Check this person out. You
Mm-hmm.
know, hey, check out this hairstylist, and I'm a hairstylist too. So and I just love to show that it's okay. This world is big enough for us all to sit up there and grow and do well.
I
Um,
think I think what's missing today, which we had, was an understanding of the importance of the collective. You know, to understand, if you can't get ahead, I can't get ahead. And within the other cultures, there is a structure there. And we played one of Martin Luther King's speeches, "Where do we go from here?" And in that speech, he talked about the accomplishments that that happened during the civil rights movement,
mhm.
and very specific accomplishments, in terms of areas that they were able to get jobs in, and places they were able to get loans from, and places they were able to live, and just so many things. And there was one particular business, that they were having problems with as far as, I guess, Black people getting jobs. And so Martin Luther King said, well, we're not going to throw any bricks in your window. We're not going to march and picket. Uh, they got with SCLC, and the people decided that they were not going to, support a business. It was a grocery store that supported this particular business. And 18 of those grocery stores went out of business. And so that grocery store chain told that company, you're going to have to make some changes here, or we're going to take you off our shelves because our
Mm-hmm.
stores are closing. So
Mm-hmm.
that was the power
Of the dollar.
of our collective,
Yes.
you know. And so that's what we don't see, and
Absolutely.
I think when we did get free, we just wanted to seem like be a part of everything and go everywhere, and but we have to do that, and that's what I grew up on the West Side watching as I was a child. And
Mm-hmm.
then I come back home from college and I see all these businesses gone, and I see so many people from other countries in our community, and they have become very wealthy.
Yeah,
They've done very well, but you can work for them. They wouldn't buy anything for you. You couldn't provide any service for them. They're
mm-hmm.
only there to make money off of you.
Absolutely.
And that's
Absolutely.
why I saw the community just going down, down, down. Then so many other things were happening at that time. It was like another. There was like they talk about bombs that they're dropping on Ukraine. Well, they didn't physically drop bombs on the West Side, but they did it in other ways.
Absolutely.
Other kind of bombs got dropped.
And not only on the west side.
And the South Side, absolutely.
No,
It was on both sides. But I came back home. I worked there. And I could see it. I could see it happening.
right. And that's I've always said that I'm like you people don't understand. They don't understand like their buying power and how they can change
Hmm.
everything, the whole dynamics. I my what you call it, the parent company, which is the Blacklist LLC.
Hmm.
At the time, when I was trying to get that going, which is on the back burner for right now, I was I had my Facebook page out there and pretty much stating what the whole purpose of the Blacklist LLC was. And I had a gentleman that was not of us that pretty much was saying, if you do this, you will destroy the economy. He understands
Hmm.
the value of our dollars. We
Hmm.
have to understand the value of our
Hmm.
dollars
Hmm.
and what power that we have when we just say, okay, I understand stuff is convenient, stuff is in the area, but I mean, how good are you feeling when they are, that they have either mistreated you or your fellow brother and fellow sister, and you're
Hmm.
still going in there giving them your money. But then
Right.
when it comes to our own Black businesses, any little thing can make you walk away and never come back. How is
True.
it that they give so many chances? How do you give so many chances to somebody that don't like you?
Hmm.
But then you can't even say words to a person that looks like you and say, hey, sis, I didn't like this part of this. Or, hey, brother, maybe you should look
Hmm.
into doing this. And, I'm going to give you another chance. Give us
Hmm.
another, give us the opportunities that you give people that are not us,
Hmm.
to allow us to redeem ourselves and get better and become that company that, you mean not only the owner's proud of, but you're proud of. Like,
Hmm.
you should go down there to that particular grocery store or that beauty supply store or that bookstore. You go check them out. They really do good business. And if you have a problem, they're going to sit up there and listen and try to assist and help and resolve the problem.
I think suggestion boxes could be helpful. You know, if the person don't want to have a direct conversation with the business person, um, if the business person had a means of taking suggestions from their customers as to how we can do better. It's very important because sometimes, when you open up a business, okay, I'm bringing a product to you,
Mm-hmm.
but what do you want? you know
Absolutely.
Maybe this is something that I want, and maybe I need it a little different this way or that way. And so I think that's a two-way street. um,
Absolutely.
but I think the business owners, should reach out to the community more and find out what is it that you want, what is it that you would like, and if you have these things, then that may help you, that may help your business. So that's something,
That's for the opportunity. Like, just don't
Mhm.
shut us out when
Sure.
we may do something that we may not even know is an error to you
Hmm.
or offended you. We may not know, but just talk to us, or as you say, drop it in suggestions. And as a business owner, definitely would listen to, anything that would keep somebody coming through my doors.
Hmm.
I don't want just a sale for a moment. I want a relationship for a lifetime.
Oh, that's right, because that's what it's about, having it continuing, having those dollars continuing to
Absolutely.
to come in. That's what's important. So, you're a business person and you're of a younger generation, and I know things are different today. I mean, some things are the same, some things will always remain the same, some fundamental things will always remain the same. But then there are things that are different. And we're seeing a different type of attitude, a different type of way of looking at things and doing things today, especially when it comes to business, when it comes to employment. And people are saying that COVID made a big change, and people had an opportunity to sit at home and think about some things.
Hmm.
um, because I'm noticing with employment even. Now I am retired. Okay, I'm a retired speech pathologist from Chicago Public Schools, but I still work as a speech pathologist because I love what I do. You
Hmm.
know, and I've had an opportunity to do it outside the country, and so in a way I still work, and then I'm doing this,
Hmm.
um, but when it comes, I notice people um, are real quick to quit a job. I mean, in my generation, you got a job, you valued it, you tried to do a good job, you wanted to keep it, you worked to try to elevate your income, or you anticipated elevations in your income. But nowadays, people work on jobs and they quit, and then we have young people who are opening up businesses, and many have a different kind of work ethic, as you
Hmm.
say, in terms of going to be open and what they gonna have, and setting up
Hmm.
appointments and not keeping them, just all just kind of things. So I mean, what can you say about the generation today, and how they're different in terms of their
I,
perspectives when it
I
comes
give
to
you an
business?
example. So, there's somebody that I know that will be opening up. Well, they will be taking over a barber beautician shop next month. And so this is what I told this person. And I said, as long as you remember that you got people that wants to be there for you, and that they could go anywhere else, and I'm talking about his stylist, value that and appreciate that, and you'll handle it a different way. Because if you sit up there and say, this is mine, 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 and don't appreciate the person that's sitting up there coming and showing up and doing their customers, and their customers walking out that door and they're coming back in the next couple of weeks, and they're still holding their deal to pay you whatever it is that you guys agreed upon. They can take that same business somewhere else. So you got to show appreciation for the people that are there for you, you know. And when you start appreciating and valuing individuals, and that goes for your employees, that goes for your your customers, that's going to take you a long way. I do hair, and I always tell my clients, I appreciate you because I know you can go anywhere else, but you choose to come to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, because I know there is a beauty shop probably on every other block, but they choose to come to me. And just value people. That's first. Be reliable. And if you can't, if just say you give somebody, just for example, me and you, I couldn't keep to my original plan of our
Mm-hmm.
meeting. And so what was the first thing I did? I called you and said, hey, things changed for me. Are we able to reschedule?
Mm-hmm.
Take accountability for people's time. Value that, you know.
Absolutely.
And those relationships are much more than just them getting their hair done, them coming to find an outfit that looks right for them for the night. It becomes a family.
That's right.
You treat people like you would want your mother to be treated, like you would want your dad to be treated. You value people time like you want people to value yours.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is, I would say, is things aren't going to be bright in the very beginning. It's not going to sit up there and be um, stardom from the very jump. Whatever you choose, and make sure you're passionate about it. Make sure you enjoy it, because there's going to be some days that ain't gonna look so bright. There's gonna that money ain't gonna look so good on certain days. But if you enjoy, just like you said for yourself, I still do it because I enjoy it. When you're doing something that you're passionate about, you're not working another day
Mm-hmm.
of your life, because that's what you're passionate about. So pick what you're passionate about. That you really, not just some that's a phase that's going through. Find something that connects to you, that you enjoy, and you will put that time in. So and just don't be so quick to abandon ship when it's just not looking so great at the moment. Stay there,
So
stay steady.
so it sounds like there are some words of wisdom and advice that maybe some people have not gotten along the way that could help them. Because I would even also say um, it's like whatever I'm going to do, I want to do a good job at it. And if this is something that I'm doing and I'm looking at it like, I don't think this is me, or, I don't want to do this, I'm still going to do a good job at it until I part or start making my way to part.
Correct.
But I'm not going to do it any kind of way. And I think what's happening, we have a lot of people out here, a lot of young people out here, you get a business and it's all about the money.
Correct.
You don't see your customers, you don't see the people. It's all about the money, you know and then we, because of our um poor collective abilities, we end up tolerating a lot of bad treatment. And so people feel like, she says something or she's not going to come back, but the rest of I got 20 other people or 30 other people that are going to come back here and put up with this.
Right.
So here
Right.
again, I'm talking about this two-way street. Um, And I guess, and I look at the next generation, coming behind, coming behind me. And I want to try to do as much as I can to make things better. But I'm looking at people coming behind me, and I don't become overwhelmed by it, because there are people out here like you, see. And so I know, during I've said many times on this show, during the civil rights movement, it was a small group of people that got out there and did what they did and made that sacrifice. Most people were afraid. They stayed home. They weren't going to do it. They thought it was crazy, or whatever they were thinking. But that small group worked together and
Mhm.
made some difference. They opened some doors. They made some changes. And
And I
so,
also think that maybe it may as well might be the when I approach somebody and we might be having a difference of opinion, I really try to think it out before I sit up there and approach the situation.
mhm,
You can't try to have a conversation with someone you're angry about the situation. You kind of just need to step back, take a moment, and then come back when you've calmed yourself or whatever. Because um, my old job, before I was in payroll, I used to have to meet people about their performances. You know, how quickly are they're getting the job done or whatever. And I noticed that at the moment that they they essentially cross their arms and no longer listening to you. So
mhm,
the technique for me was, how can I keep this person engaged with me to get this accomplished? And so it might just be how we are approaching each other. Yeah, that we got they look hot headed. They look they young hot headed. But maybe we have to sit up there and say, okay, I know what I'm dealing with, so I have to approach this person differently than I approach someone that is of my age or older.
mhm,
And in order for them to just stop and listen and say, man, they did they didn't come to me like I thought they were. Because sometimes they be ready. Some people be ready. They be ready for that battle and whatever. Um, I think we have an obligation to sit up there and try to, because the person I said that to, I feel the same way, as far
mhm,
as the demeanor would be. This is my spot. This is my place. You know,
mhm,
so I need you to appreciate what you got and what's about to happen and what's about to transpire, so you can sit up there and have this place that, who wants to go to work and be miserable or upset
mhm.
or on guard, like what they're up to next, what they're trying to do to me? Nobody wants that type of environment.
Sure, sure.
So you want to sit up there and come to a person to where we can stay calm, and some of the words, may not all, some of the words land, and be willing to listen to what they have to say too, because some of them words that they're saying may land too, and you say, oh, okay, well, I didn't understand that, but now I do. I understand their perspective of it all, and the reason why they feel that way, or
Mhm.
they're approaching it this way.
Okay, now let me ask you this as you were talking, because I'm talking about, our young people, coming into the business realm, and you're owning these businesses in our community. Um, how much do you think the language and and profanity? Because see, profanity, from my generation, I mean, not to say that
Right.
people didn't use it, didn't say that nobody used it, but you had places that you didn't, you know. And I've gone into some stores and I see all kind of stuff on the sweatshirts and on the mugs, and I mean, wow, really. um and then this becomes part of the language. How much do you think this acceptance of profanity in our in our culture right now is, affecting these relationships, and people being able to, like you say, interact calmly
Calmly.
and with respect, And I'm asking you this because when I approach a young person about using, profanity, their mouth drops. It's like they're,
Mhm.
they don't get disrespectful back to me, but they're shocked that I'm even saying anything about this.
I would say you have to depend on it. If you're talking to a business, like a business owner to another business owner, and regardless of if that person may use profanity or whatever, if they don't feel safe in the environment, they ain't no coming by. They're not going to come in and see you. So maybe just consider calming down on the type of music, the type of how you're presenting yourself, in order to make people more comfortable um, with coming in here. Because guess what? It is many more people outside of this group that feel that's comfortable with this. You can have them because they ain't caring if you use it or not. Um, but there's many more people that if they felt comfortable type of environment, they will come in and support you on a higher on a bigger scale.
So if you were to go into a business and you heard a lot of profanity, the rap music profanity or profanity on some of their clothing items and so on and so, that wouldn't bother you.
I wouldn't say that wouldn't bother me, but that may be who they are marketing to. I'm quite sure that there's other items that's there, and I know that the one thing they are there for is to make money. At the end of the day, they're there to make money. So,
and they're making money. They're for surely making money. It seemed like
they're making be with a small group. I mean, but just imagine if you scale. I mean, if the shirt says what it says, I mean, I don't have to buy it. That appeals to someone else. I'm more for how's the dialogue in here? What's the temperature in here? Is it making me uncomfortable to be in this space? And if you're sitting up there yelling across, you this, you that, you whatever, that's you losing out on your money. Because guess what? Majority of the people is going to walk out of there and say, you know what? My son is not safe for my son to be here. It's not safe for me to be here. It's not safe for whoever to be here. We're not going to come back and patronize anymore.
Okay. So you think there's really a smaller group of people that they're catering to. But then there could be a benefit in catering to a broader group of
Right.
people. Okay.
Absolutely.
So where do you
the dialogue isn't being disrespectful and hostile, then I mean, like I say, everybody, what I like is different than what you like.
Okay.
But the main thing I want to make sure is that I feel safe coming in here and that I feel comfortable coming in here. And if I feel as though you're going to be yelling and calling each other out of y'all names, talking about fighting or whatever, that's not the spot for me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Now, whatever is saying on the shirt, I don't have to buy it. Okay. But I'm more concerned on the temperature of the room and how we talking to one another and how we're respecting one another in that space.
Okay. Well, we're getting close to the top of the hour, and I did have a couple of more questions I wanted to ask you in terms of Black businesses here in Chicago. Where do you think we are right now? Where do you think we are right now, and where do you think we're going?
I am seeing, as we're speaking about our younger gentlemen and ladies,
Mm-hmm.
them really trying to make it on their own
Mm-hmm.
and becoming their own entrepreneur, and having their own business and working diligently at those businesses, which is
Mm-hmm.
absolutely beautiful to see.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely beautiful to see. Um, I know somebody that their son is, oh, how old is he? He has to be about 7 years old, and he's like, I want a vending machine
Mm-hmm.
at 7. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
And his mom is saying, because she's an entrepreneur herself, and she's like,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to work on getting him his own, getting him his own business of vending machines. You know what I mean? So um the growth is beautiful. I just hope and only pray that they will, just like I say, stick with it, be passionate about it, um and and go through the storm and watch the growth. You know, it's gonna rain, but guess what? It's putting water on them seeds, and it's gonna grow. You know, so I I'm happy to see those things now, um, with a lot of our young men and women.
Okay. I see the same thing. I see a lot of young people out here, seem like they're trying, like you said, trying to make it on their own, trying to start their own businesses, you know, and we want to be as supportive to them as possible.
Yes.
And that's looks like that's the way to go, you know, because we have so many new people now coming to the country, and many of them come from areas where, you know, maybe they didn't work for a big corporation, you know, or something like that, but they had to get out and set up a stand or whatever to make a dollar,
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely.
And so they do have a great sense of a work ethic, and so that's something, you know, that we got to make sure that we do, and we got to make sure that we're supporting each other.
Another thing I want to say too is, and it is going back to prior, something else I would like to say to um, young entrepreneurs and people that's trying to have their own, starting their own business. Do it right.
Mm-hmm.
Don't half do it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do it all the way. Pay what you have to pay as far as license and everything, in order to where nobody can come and touch you at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So I will stress that a lot. You know,
Absolutely.
do it the
And
right way.
hire an accountant. Hire an accountant to
Absolutely.
make sure. Absolutely. That's right. Because you got to be making a profit, you know.
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But
Absolutely. All
I'm
right.
excited about what I'm excited to see this growth. I mean, you're right. When COVID happened, it really had people at home saying, I like the idea that I don't have to necessarily report to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
What can I do to make
Mm-hmm.
this extend past COVID?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so it's been an absolute joy to see people sitting up there, not putting a cap on themselves. Like nobody can
Mm-hmm.
say, well, you only can make $18 an hour, or you only can make this amount a year. You
Mm-hmm.
know, they're looking for other things that nobody can sit up there and stop them from making as much as they're going to make.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, LaShae, it's been wonderful talking to you of Juneteenth apparels. Let the audience know again how they can go and see I know you have online presence now, and
Correct.
you will be reopening your establishment on the west side of
Yes.
Chicago. And so let us know how we can access your line.
Okay. So you can go to www.juneteenthapparel.com and shop our large array of various items, from as we say, taller to the retiree, and from 2T to 5XL to LTs for the large and tall. So that's www.juneteenthapparel.com. And then when we are ready to reopen, all brand new, that will be at 1059 North Hamlet, and that's on Hamlet and Thomas, in between Augusta and Division. Um,
Okay.
and you can also call if you have any questions, and that
Mm-hmm.
number is 773-322-7025. And someone will always answer. I am always getting phone calls from everywhere else, in regards to customer service. So I may not be able to help the other company, but I can help us. So
Absolutely.
give us a call, and we will greatly and gladly help you and assist you with anything as far as Juneteenth apparel is concerned.
Okay. And as we said in the conversation in the show, Juneteenth is 365 days a year. You know,
Celebrate your freedom every
that's
single
right.
day, because nobody can take away what you have personally broken free from.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Good night, everybody.